All right, this is Luke with Heart Has No Limit. We're on lesson 6, one of my favorite lessons. So tune into this. This is one of the key ones. Lesson 6 is all about having a flexible mind. This is how you get that unshakable strength, that confidence we've been talking about, where you just have that certainty. When we talk about having a flexible mind, some people call it resilience. Resilience is kind of like this, a little fancy, a little bit stuffy word. But what it's really talking about is I am the type of person who is flexible. So when we talk about flexibility, when we're talking about resilience, what does that really mean? What does that actually look like? I like to think of resilience and having a flexible mind as I can go with the ups and the downs of life. Just picture a boat. When you see a boat in water, boats are strong. Boats are resilient, right? They can go with the ups and downs. Are they strong because every wave they're like, no, I'm not going to move, and they crash into it and fight it? Or are boats strong and resilient because they go with the flow? They go with the ups and downs. I want to encourage you that you are much cooler and much smarter than a boat. You can be resilient and go with the ups and downs of life as well. So when we talk about flexibility, I know we've all done physical activity. We've all sports, played games. And as we play sports and games, what's the first thing they tell you? Stretch. If you're going to do stuff, you're going to put your muscles to work. You're going to make this new version of you. You're going to create the best version of yourself. That's what we're doing here. Stretch out. Be flexible. You've done enough of the work this far that now you have the tools. You understand, like, hey, I can notice things. I can see options. I can make good choices. I can move forward. I can take better actions. You know those things. You already have the tools and the practice to be resilient, to be flexible. So having a flexible mind means that I can go with the flow of life. The ups and downs, I can roll with them. It might move me, but I'm not fighting it. I'm not being against it. I'm not going against life and saying, oh no, life can't be this way. I had such a great vision for the future. I had all of my plans and my dreams. Life can't do this. When you've got where you're going picked out, hey, this is the me that I want to be. This is who I am. Guess what? If you know where you're going, you can go up and down along the way. If life takes you off course, just like a boat where you moved kind of this way or maybe that way, you're not going to freak out. You're not going to be all anxious. You're not going to jump overboard and be like, life is crazy. I can't handle it. Because it's just part of the process. Life has ups and downs. It's how we respond to it. Just like those muscles that we're stretching out when we're playing games. If we can be flexible and go with it, we can go really far. Do you think that's true? Okay, so when I think of a flexible mind, going with the ups and downs, to me, the number one word I think of is freedom. I'm not under the control of someone else, something that happened, something in my past. I have the freedom to go where I need to go so I can get where I need to go. I have freedom to become the person that I need to be, that I want to be, that I desire to be. So we're talking about that boat. Life moves you all over the place. You might be thinking, I didn't want to be in this place right now. But guess what? You can't control that, but you can control what you're looking at, what you're pointing at, and say, hey, I'm still going to go towards where I want to go. I love the picture of an airplane. I don't know if you know this. Have you ever flown before? When you're flying, we think that, airplanes just go up and go down, right to the destination, everything's perfect. But because you're in the air, there's all kinds of clouds, there's wind, there's turbulence, there's all of this stuff that shakes and move a plane all around. So what flying a plane actually looks like is them taking off, and they're constantly being moved all over the place by the wind. Do pilots get all upset when a little bit of wind shakes them off course? No. They keep pointing at where they want to go. They're constantly making adjustments. That's why pilots are so important. They're constantly moving where they're going in spite of the stuff that's happening around them. So I want to encourage you, you're the pilot of your life. This life is your plane, man. This is your plane. Is wind going to blow you around? It might. But you always have control to point your nose where you want to go, to look at what you want to see and find it. We said countless times in this before. We said countless times in this program, you find what you're looking for. So I want you as the pilot of your plane to look where you want to go. So what does it mean to you when you think of a flexible mind? I think it requires life wants us to be flexible. I have to be open to change, new perspectives. It means being willing to adjust where I'm at, what I'm doing, being flexible, even when things don't go as planned. So here's an important question. Listen to this. How does having a flexible mind keep you calm and focused on the future? How does that work for you? Don't just listen to my words and think, oh, that's a cool idea. Take this in for yourself. Hey, when I have a flexible mind, what does that look like for me? How does that keep me calm and focused on the future? When you have a flexible mind, it really is like a superpower. You can stay calm and focused when things are kicking off, when things are getting wild, or there's chaos, or wow, I didn't expect that. You can still stay calm. Like, hey, that's part of it. That's the biggest thing I want you to know. If you can just go, yeah, that's a part of it. Hey, I'm flying my life, my plane, and there's going to be wind. I know that. Like the minute you go, oh yeah, I know that, and you count that as part of it, it takes away all of the chaos's power. It takes away all of the fear and anxiety's power because you're going, yeah, I'm flying a plane. The cool thing is, listen to this. Did you know that planes actually need that resistance from the wind to fly high? Like, think about it. If there was no wind, planes couldn't stay up. They get like little jets and everything to get them off the ground. Planes actually need the wind, the resistance. All of the things that you think in life are like, oh no, I wish that was, and I wish I could just fly to my destination. I wish I could just land and be the perfect me. All those things that you're thinking, oh, I wish that didn't happen, or, oh man, now I have to get over that. That's actually the exact thing that you need to become the person you're supposed to be. Just like we talked about, remember Marcus Aurelius and his story about like, hey, the wall in my way, that's the way. That's how I know. There's some resistance there. There's something against me. There's something coming against me that I'm going to use to fly over it. Right? When that wind comes at the plane uses that to go over it. So I want you to, do you get that? Is that exciting to you? That's how life works. Those things that you might feel like, oh, that's happening to me. Remember, things aren't happening to you. Things are happening for you. Life is happening for you. The minute you see that, when you can look at that, get that perspective, you can zoom out and say, oh, wow, those challenges, the hard things I don't like all the time, that person in my life who's might seem more harm than good, that somehow is benefiting me. That's helping me grow. That's the resistance I push at the gym, the muscles I need. That's how I grow. The minute you see that, it takes away all the power from the negativity. Everything is good. Everything is working out for my good. I believe that. That's a belief. Remember we were talking about that? Everything is. That's an I am statement about everything is working out for my good. If I'm willing to believe that, what possibility does that open up for you? If you're willing to believe that, what possibility does that open up for you? So when I look at things that way, how can I even stay stuck? How can I even be stuck in the past? I've taken this perspective in and I'm looking so wide at the opportunities and the possibilities. Now I know I can make better choices. You can make better choices. You can avoid drama. And even the person or the tough situation, it's tough now, but when you get to the other side, you can see how that was actually a cool thing that happened for you. Want to know how I know that? Do this with me. Think back to a time. Maybe it's a person who, like, the first time you met them, you did not get along. It could be like first day of school, first day of sports camp. You're like, I don't know about this person. They kind of rub me the wrong way. They're a little too much, or they're not enough, whatever it is, right? And it just bugs you. We all know that turned out to be your bud, right? You're probably like, actually, my best friend and I right now, you can think back. That person right away was not for you. You can look at them as a problem or an obstacle. Actually, it ended up working to your benefit. It was a good thing. So when you're willing to look at life as, hey, that's all just part of it, you're willing to be open and say, hey, I don't see how it's good right now, but I don't know everything. So is it possible that this could be a good thing? I just don't see it. Yeah, it is possible. Think about every present you got. If it's wrapped in a box, you don't go, oh, this present is terrible. It's a box. It's just a brown cardboard box with tape on it. This present is terrible. It's like, well, no, your first glance at it is you don't see it for what it actually is. You don't know what's coming after that. If you're only looking at things at surface level, you're never going to see how good things can be. So you open up that present and guess what? You're like, oh, this is amazing. This is exactly what I wanted. This is exactly what I needed. Life is exactly like that. So I'm going to ask you a question. This is ask a good question, get a great answer. Can you think of a time when you maybe reacted a little too quickly, made a judgment too quick? Maybe you said something you wish you hadn't. When you think of that thing, I want you to use that as like, we're going to step back and use that as an exercise. Let's run a different scenario. Let's try it again. What if, I hadn't jumped the gun or hadn't gone too quickly? What if I had stayed calm? What if I had said something else? What if I had paused and not just spoke with the first thing that came to me? So we call this non-reaction. Like, I don't just react. I don't just respond. I don't just say the first thing. If I can pause, I have more power. I'm in control. If I have pause and I could be calm, I'm in control. So let's get real practical. Maybe you're, playing a game with a friend and someone breaks a rule. What's your first instinct? It might be like, hey, I want to call them out. I want to tell them. I want to yell at them. Instead, what you can do is just pause. Take a breath. Remember, feel your body. Like, okay, there's frustration, there's anger, there's whatever. I feel that and I see that. Maybe instead of getting upset or yelling out, we could say something like, oh, I think that's actually not how it's supposed to go. Can we try it again so it's fair for everybody? Just something like that. Just, oh, hey, I don't think that's how it's supposed to go. Can we try it again? Oh, actually, I think we skipped the rule. So no worries. Let's just start over. Let's try it again. Let's play it right. It sounds so simple, but when you're willing to take a second to take that pause, first, it lets you know, hey, I'm in control of myself. I don't have to lash out and be upset or angry or shout out. But then it also lets the other person, hey, I'm in control of me. I'm safe to be around. I can handle myself. I take care of myself. So when you're that type of person, that's who people want to be around. That's who you want to be around, right? Or maybe it's your brother or sister takes the last snack that you were saving. You're like, that was my thing. I can't believe they took it. So rather than reacting, right, that gives them power. Like, they did this and it makes me respond. I don't have to be upset and yell at them. I could just say, oh, hey, I was really looking forward to that. Like, can we share it or find something else that we both like? When you're willing just to talk rather than react with your emotions, man, you have so much control and mastery over yourself. You're in control of yourself. Or maybe you posted something online. Oh man, you're just brutal comments of people saying something. Maybe you've left a rude comment on somebody's thing. Instead of getting angry or lashing out about what someone wrote on the internet, maybe you just say, hey, I keep scrolling. I don't look at that. I don't need to argue back with them. How many times have you ever been persuaded because someone on the internet yelled at you and argued back and forth with you, right? Nobody. How many times have you had peace and felt calm and joyful because you argued with somebody? It doesn't happen, right? You know what actually brings joy? Is when you see that and go, oh, okay. Keep scrolling. It could be a situation where maybe someone is trying to be funny and trying to be cool, and they say something, and it's actually really hurtful. You're like, that was disrespectful and rude. You don't need to fly off the handle. You don't need to react. You could just say, hey, I didn't like that joke. Please don't say things like that to me. A lot of times people are well-meaning, like they mean good things, but it doesn't come off. And if you're willing just to be like that respectful, that safe, and to say, hey, actually, I don't like that. Please don't talk to me like that. People actually respect you more. They go, oh, wow. When you can communicate with care and say, hey, I don't like to be talked to like that, that actually increases your respect, not decreases it. So here's some just basic tools you can use for being mindful, for taking that pause, so that when those things happen, you can take that breath, that calming, just extra second. Remember, you are the calm in the situation, right? So some things you can practice to build that skill in you, because remember, it is a skill. This self-control that you have is a skill. It's learnable. You can figure it out, and I'll show you how. Some tools to practice: breathing. We already went over the nostril breathing, right? Even literally, we got our, hey, notice my body. I release all the tension in it. That's another tool. Even just regular breathing, like, I'm going to take a few deep breaths. When you do that, you're literally moving the energy in your body. A lot of times we clamp up, we tighten up, we get stressful in our body, in our lungs, in our midsection. We're controlling our body that way. So when you do something different, like I take that breath, you move that energy. You remove that stress. You move it off of you. You let go of that tension. That's you being in control. So good job. A lot of people talk about mindfulness. Hey, can I just focus on the present moment? I don't need to figure out all the consequences. I don't need to figure out everything that's going to happen next. One easy thing to do is just to literally look around and notice things in the room. Okay, I notice that whiteboard. I notice this cup. My arms are on a desk. I'm talking to a really cool person. When you're willing to notice and call out those things in the room, it literally grounds you to what's going on in the moment. So when you're willing to notice what's going on around you, it grounds you in the moment. You're not worried about the past. You're not thinking about the future. You're saying, what's going on right now? Because guess what? I can control. I can be in charge of what's going on right now. I can't control everybody else's situation, what's going to happen in the future. But right now, I'm in control of me. I'm in charge of me. Exercise is great. Going for a walk, a run, playing games with your friends. We all love that. Being wise with what you say is so important. You can decide, even right now, do this with me. There are words I say and there are words I don't say. I don't call my buddies names. I'm not mean. I'm not rude. I'm not the type of person who uses, curse words and that kind of thing. I just don't. I'm deciding that right now. I'm not saying you have to. Everyone can do their own thing. But what are words you don't use? Like, hey, I don't call my sister this name. I'm nice to them. I'm kind to them. I make these types of decisions. This is what I say. This is who I am. Journaling is a great tool to use. Write down your thoughts, your feelings. And remember, when we're journaling, use the exercise we used a couple lessons ago. And this is what I'm going to do about it. When you write out everything that happened and say, and this is what I'm going to do, and this is the good choice I'm going to make, journaling becomes a very powerful tool in your arsenal. So a lot of times we can think differently about a situation. Some people call this reframing. Think of a picture frame. Like if there's a picture and it's just over here, if you were only seeing this tiny little spot in the background behind me, you really would be missing the whole picture because there's a person here and I'm talking to you, right? So if I put my picture frame around this part, you're missing a lot. If I stretch it out and I'm looking at this, you're seeing so much more. We can do this with our thoughts and our feelings. You can ask yourself, what hurts? What's going on? And you can think about those things and think about, okay, well, how is this opening up new things for me? How is this a good thing? We've already used some of these tools. So as you're going through these things, which one of those activities stood out to you? I want you to write that down and commit to that. Hey, I'm going to use this tool. I'm going to journal the next time I start thinking about all these things. So once you've decided what's your tool to stay flexible, I want you to commit to using that sometime in the next week. Hey, I'm going to intentionally set myself up for success. Hey, I'm going to do this to make a good decision in the future. Which of those do you want to do? And then here's the next question. Who is a friend that you can talk to that can hold you accountable to say, hey, I'm committing to do this. Like, I'm going to do this. Will you check in with me? Will you ask me if I do it next time I see you? When you do that and say, hey, buddy, help me be the best me, that's great for you. It also inspires them. So I totally get it. Sometimes in some homes, people do things. People behave a certain way. They can be real aggressive. People might lie, keep secrets, and that could be taught as a way to survive. But those habits, lying, keeping secrets, being aggressive, being mean, those habits actually really hurt us and them. It hurts on the inside and the outside. And if you've made it this far, you're already practicing new ways to handle those things. You're learning to master your mind and your body. And it doesn't just start with actions, it continues with actions. You're already doing some of these things. So you're already in motion towards becoming that person who does these things. What I want you to do is realize, keep going, keep committing to them. Those old habits that you may have been taught in your house or in your friend group or, just like in culture around us, people in our city, people in our schools that, hey, we're this way, lie, cheat, steal, whatever that can be as a strategy, but it doesn't really work. It's not good for us in the long run. So it might be hard to let those things go, but we already know we can let them go. And we can think, what is a better tool for me to use? We're always looking forward. What's the best version of me? What does that person do? How do I act like that? Who am I and what do I do? We're always looking that way. Even when we feel tough emotions, we have the freedom to choose how we act. That is true freedom. No matter what's going on in me, I always have a choice in the moment. One easy thing we can do, this is another exercise, get out a piece of paper. A lot of people do this. This is so good. Everyone tells you to do this because it works so well. If you can just write down 10 things you're grateful for, big or small. I'm thankful for my friends. I'm thankful for this team. I'm thankful for my desk. I have a pen and paper. I'm thankful for that. I woke up today. I'm thankful for that. Am I healthy in my body? Mostly healthy? I'm thankful for that. Someone held the door for me today. I'm grateful. I had a good snack. I had a good lunch. I got to talk to my friend and we laughed. That is so good. I'm thankful for that. When you start thinking of things like that, about all the good things you're thankful for, you are forcing your brain preemptively. You are forcing your brain to look at the good things. Is the sun out? You got your favorite t-shirt on. Who's a friend that makes you laugh? What comes to mind? Think of these things. A lot of people would call this values. These are things that are important to me. They're important in my life. When I focus on what I want, what I'm grateful for, what I value, what's important, I am building a good life. That's what a good life is built on. And when I'm focused on all the good things, the possibilities, all the new things out there, you're removing all of the limits in your life. Think about that. Our program, its heart has no limit. Right? When you are looking at the possibility, the good things, you're literally opening up your future. You're opening up yourself to all these good things. All those limiters, like we've been talking about, like the shame and the guilt and holding on to things and not wanting to let go, being stuck, those are limiters. We're going through this because we want you to be free. We want you to have options. We want you to get rid of all those limits. There'll be people who, when you say, hey, this is what I believe, this is what I value, they're going to say, no, that's not true. That's not real. You get to say, it's real to me. I know it's real for me. I believe it. It gets rid of all those limitations. Don't let other people put limitations on you. Don't let their ideas of what they think is real limit you, right? There's nothing that can stop you from achieving your dreams when you're going through this process, when you're going through this program. You're saying, I'm a person of impact. I can make good decisions. I can change. I can help people. I can grow. That removes all those limitations. You can move from what's deep in your heart. Hey, I know this is true. People matter. I care. I help people. Right? That is true for you. So that's what we're all about. I had to share that. So when you're thinking about what you value, it's stuff that is just naturally important to you. So you're going to get a list of 50 values to look at, and then what it really means to help out. A lot of people value like, hey, I'm authentic. Like I'm just the true version of me everywhere I go. That's important to me. There are some people who are more artistic than me, who are artistic, and they say, I value beauty. I love things that just look beautiful. There are some people who love working with tools and they can create things, and they say building good quality things matters to me. Compassion matters to me. I hope there's some of you out there that say challenge matters to me. I want to be challenged. I want to grow. I want to run with people who are motivated, who are excited, who are looking at the future. Like you might be there saying, I'm with you. I'm getting all this. I want more people like this. You might value motivation. So there's a whole list. It could be empathy. It could be friendships. Curiosity, one we talked a lot about. Honesty, kindness, justice, fairness. There's all of these words. Peace. Popularity might be important. Security, stability, being safe. There's all kinds. Wealth, trustworthiness, teamwork, wisdom. All of these things can be things that you value. And I want you to decide. Look through this list and pick like 3 to 5. Just pick ones that really stick out to you. Like, ooh, when I read that, I felt that right here. And then I want you to pick the top 3 and write out, why are these so important to you? Why is that value so important to me? Then ask yourself another question. How does that show up in my life? Then the next powerful question you're going to ask yourself, how do I want to see that value in my life and my future? When you start thinking like that, you're building beliefs, you're building your identity, you're building the best version of you. So now that you know what you value, what's important to you, what matters in your life, I want you to put that into your future. Say, hey, this is who I am. Not only what do I see myself doing, but who am I? What do I value? What's important when I look out there at me? And then use that. This is why it's so powerful, because it brings real clarity. When you're doing things, I want you to ask yourself, is this what I value? Is this really important to me? Does this help me be the best me? There might be some things in your life like, hey, when I'm around this person, they're not a person for me. I'm not the best self. I'm not the best me I could be when I'm around them. So maybe that's someone you hang out with less. Maybe there's someone in your life too that like, hey, when I'm around them, man, I'm lit up. There's something I value that they value. Like we've got this thing going on. I want to be around them more. And maybe it's something in you. You're saying, hey, honesty, just being honest, being real matters so much to me. I don't want to fake it. I'm not a phony. I'm real. And you can use that to help yourself make decisions of how do I get where I want to go? How do I know what the next step is? Am I moving towards my values? Am I moving towards what's important? If honesty is important to me, is this moving me closer to being honest, or does this make me want to lie? Does this make me want to hide things? If it's putting you in that negative, that old place, that stuck place, it's probably not a value. Real life example. If I value success, like, hey, I want to do things well. You know, you might have the choice come up like, well, I could go just play video games all night, or I could do my homework and then play video games. Well, if I value success, I'm going to make sure I get my homework done first. Now, do we love homework? No, but we love and value success. Homework is how we get there, so I'm just going to go and do my homework, get it done, do it well, and then I can go play video games. That's a very real choice we all face, right? So now that you know this, like, what do I value? And does this move me towards that? So some other examples. Health might be important to you. Okay, well, if I value health, how can I move my body every day? Can I go for a walk? Can I stay active? If I value kindness, can I just be kind to a stranger? Can I help somebody out? Can I be a good friend? If I value family, hey, can I give my grandma or my dad or mom a call? Just see how they're doing, check in. If I value forgiveness, can I let go of things? Can I not hold things against people? And can I just let it go? So today, in this lesson, we've learned some very valuable things, right? There it is, value. Really important things we value, and how that can shape how we know that we're moving towards that best version of ourselves. So what I love about values is back to square one where we started this. We're in a boat, right? We're constantly being moved around. We're in that airplane. The wind is constantly moving us all over the place. Values are what line us up to where we want to go. Now, things will happen. Remember, I might do things that don't line up with my values. I might get bumped off course. I listened to that person and I did this thing I wished I didn't do. Well, you got off course. That's natural. That's what happens. So line up with your values and what gets you where you need to go. So take a minute, write down, what's your biggest takeaway from today? When we're talking about this, what really stood out to you? What was the best value that stood out when you're looking at the sheet and say, oh, that's my number one. That's important to me. And I want to encourage you too, as you're going through this, I know we're people who commit to things and follow through, but we're also flexible. Your values might change. You'll discover new things. You'll have relationships with people and you'll go, wow, okay, actually honesty, I thought that was like a little bit lower in the middle. That actually might be something that's really important to me. That's the number one value. There's flexibility in this. You can value different things. Now that I'm a little bit older, I value this. Now that I've got this experience, I value this. Write down a commitment. Hey, I value this. This is what I'm going to do. Ask a buddy. Ask a friend. Ask a leader to say, hey, can you hold me accountable to this? Here's my values. I want to act that way. I'm going to do everything I can to do the things that an honest person would do. I am honest, so this is what I do. Ask them to hold you accountable. And you know what? When you live as a person with values, it really encourages other people to live with values too. People will look up to you. When you say, hey, I'm an honest person, I tell the truth. And if you're willing to tell the truth to somebody, they go, wow, that was actually really cool. Like, I respect them. They're a person who's trustworthy. So that's who you're becoming. That's who you are. So write down, what did you get from this course? What would you like to learn more about? Take a moment, reflect, write these answers down. Your feedbacks helps make this course even better.